we must be righteous and moral. We must live the gospel principles, all of them. To live a higher law, it means we will look to God as our lawgiver and the source of our liberty. Someday, we may see that pair of hands that sacrificed so much for us, all of us. Are our hands clean? And do they show the signs of being in His service? Are our hearts pure and filled with His thoughts? Each week, we make a solemn covenant to be like Him and to take Him for our leader, to always remember Him in everything and keep all of His commandments. In return, He promises to give us His Spirit.
I believe that governments were instituted of God for the benefit of man, and accountable for their acts in relation to them, both in making laws and administering them for the good and safety of society. I believe that no government can exist in peace except such laws are framed and held inviolate as will secure to each individual the free exercise of conscience, the right and control of property, and the protection of life.
We believe in being subject to kings, presidents, rulers, and magistrates, in obeying, honoring, and sustaining the law. But modern revelation states that we are to renounce war and proclaim peace.
Joseph Smith, while unjustly incarcerated in a cold and depressing cell of Liberty Jail at Clay County, Missouri, frequently bore his testimony of the document's divinity. He said, quote, "The Constitution of the United States is a glorious standard. It is a heavenly banner. It is founded in the wisdom of God.
According to the laws and constitution of the people, which I have suffered to be established and should be maintained, for the rights and protection of all flesh, according to just and holy principles, that every man may act in doctrine and principle pertaining to futurity, according to the moral agency which I have given unto him, that every man may be accountable unto me for his own sins in the day of judgment. And for this purpose, to preserve the rights of men's free agency, I established the constitution of this land by hands of wise men, whom I raised up unto this very purpose."
Christ asked the question, as to what manner of men ought we to be? He answered by saying, we ought to be even as He is. That man is greatest and most blessed and joyful, whose life most closely fits the pattern of the Christ. This has nothing to do with earthly wealth, power, or prestige. The only true test of greatness, blessedness, and joyfulness is how close can a life come to being like the Master, Jesus Christ. He is the right way, the full truth, and the abundant life.
Jesus said, "Love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, mind, and strength. And the second is likened to it, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets."
Personally, I like the words of the Lord when he referred some thoughts to the golden rule and said, "Whatsoever ye would that others do unto you, do ye even so unto them."
We are to deny ourselves of all ungodliness. We are to forsake all evil and cleave unto all good, and live by every word which proceedeth forth out of the mouth of God.